those sheep as they scream. They never made it over the fence with each noble attempt. We just sat there conscious. Causing something hounds that are coming to ground and run them up now. We'll shut them up. So go ahead and look it down. Go look down the barrel of that fun gun. Look what you found. So in the hot sun, sitting on a shotgun, waiting, I will not tie the knot where the shots come. Heading on my head, I will not be caught dead. Walking off to my bed with a death threat.
What's up, everybody? C-Jack here, and welcome to Season 15 of the C-Jack Reviews. I'm your host. If you're new to the channel, hit that share, comment, subscribe button, and if you already have subscribed, hit that bell so you guys won't miss any future content I will bring you in the future. But today, we are going to discuss a film, and normally my reviews are based upon films that draw my attention, whether it's plot, cast, or theme of the character, called Companion. Companion was a very interesting film, and I was right to actually do this review on it. So, originally directed by Drew Hancock, who makes specialties in black comedy sci-fi thrillers, known also for My Dead Ex and Suburgatory, which I've seen Suburgatory, really good film. I recommend you guys check it out. He goes deep in the new trend that's happening right now with our society in not only online dating, but the next level of actually having, I'm gonna call it what it is, sex bots or companions. So the title for this movie was appropriate. So before we dive in, let me ask you this. For you guys out there, it's mostly men who are purchasing these things. And not to be sexist, I'm sure there's women out there who do the opposite sex as well, if not the same sex. Are we in a society diving down to like the bowels of disconnect so rapidly that we have to actually talk to somebody, an automaton, a woman that's not even, well, God-given by that means? Are we really that starved for individuality and acceptance that we're willing to create our own significant partner? That's a question you should ask yourself. You know, it's like Ghost in the Shell meets Ex Machina, you know? It's really interesting. Anyway, this film stars Sophie Tucker, Lucas Gage, not Cage, Gage, Megan Suri, and, Rupert Friend, interesting last name, Harvey Gullin, and my boy Jack Quaid. Jack is a phenomenal actor. His range is getting broader by the minute. I fell in love with his personality with Star Trek: The Lower Decks when he starred as Boyer. I'm butchering it. Lower Decks in Star Trek. He plays a cartoon character. Of course, he plays Huey from The Boys too. So, you know what I'm saying? His range is out there. And we start this film in the near future. And I say near future because cell phones is still a thing, but obviously they don't have advanced AI technology as we do now. And it humbles itself. It has an opening sequence of our star, Iris, who's walking through a grocery store, talking about life as a whole, humbling, like enjoying herself, and talking about the birds and the bees of society, enjoying what life is about. Then she meets up with this awkward individual named Josh. And Josh, even from the opening gambit of this scene right here, but isn't wrong with him. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll put the carriage before the horse. So let's just slow down a bit, the pace.
It's once in a lifetime.
That was smooth.
Yeah. For me, so smooth. It happened twice. The first was the day I met Josh.
I'm Josh.
I'm Iris. And the second, the day I killed him.
So they fast forward. They don't specifically say when, but they become a couple. They fall for each other. They have long-term relationship goals, dating stuff, They meet up some friends at a cabin. And the cabin was hosted by this girl named Kat. Now, Kat is your woman's woman. She already doesn't like Iris. Now, from the audience standpoint, if you're watching this for the first time, you don't know why Kat doesn't like Iris. But I'm thinking maybe she has hidden feelings for Josh or whatever. Remember, from the previews, obviously I know that she's a cyborg or a mobile doll, if you know, or something of that nature. And I wasn't sure if that was an intimidation factor. It's like my earlier question: is mankind replacing women for these submissive, no personality having dolls for a sophisticated woman who actually has all these things built in that's God given? Anyway, so they go to this, you know, cabin out in the middle of nowhere, and this place belongs to this guy named Sergey, which Kat was significantly attracted to. Well, at first, but later down the road, she finds out he's a misogynist, sexist pig, and she loses all interest. But wait, there's more. And despite Iris bringing her best game to the party, she's just brushed off by Kat. Like, okay, you brought her, I
So
guess.
when you said remote, I thought you meant like a couple miles off the highway. I didn't realize you meant civilization.
Oh, don't be so dramatic, Josh. It's not that far.
Okay, hard disagree.
Hello, Iris.
Hi, Kat. It's so good to see you.
So good.
And despite this, I thought she had a thing for Josh, but boy, was I wrong. And they have a few other friends who were invited to this party named Eli and Patrick. And, you know, it's easy to remember who one of the other person is because Patrick is just this dull, pretty boy. And Eli, a lot of personality. You know, he's definitely flamboyant. I'm trying to be politically correct here. But I like his character. His character is much needed for this film. It presents honesty and that comic wit that you need. I really do like his character.
I didn't know a
And
single person.
they're having fun. They're talking to each other, and fun is had by all. And Iris asks,
Something that
you know,
looked like Thomas.
oh, so she asked Patrick, so how did you and Eli meet? And it kind of dragged here for a minute. I get it, it's for filler purposes. They met at some kind of weird costume party, and he said he stepped on her tail, stepped on Patrick's tail, and after that, it was like, you know, everything was all hunky-dory, and they fell in love ever since then.
Feel a tap on my shoulder, and so I turn around, and there's this green, puffy dinosaur just staring me down. And inside its head, I hear this very, very muffled, very annoyed voice say, "You're standing on my tail." So I turn around, I look down, and sure enough, I am standing on his little dino tail. So I step off and apologize, and he takes his head off, and I'm looking at the most beautiful man that I've ever seen in my life.
So did you meet this beautiful man after you met Eli?
Okay,
or-
you know what? Shut up. Was that a scallop? That was a scallop. Actually hit.
And I want to put a side note here. Iris tries to sit down with Kat and ask her the direct question, and people should be a lot more direct like she is. You know, there's no lying in her. There's no lying in her. Another foreshadowing. And she asks Kat, "Why don't you like me?" And Kat, you know, I know at this point what she's getting at, because Kat already knows that she's not a real human being, but she can't tell her that. You know, I mean, with this, if Josh didn't tell her in the upcoming scene that we're having here, if Josh didn't tell her that she wasn't real before he told her, would it cause a paradox and cause her to shut down? Or would she confront Josh about it and it ruin Josh's original plan to begin with? And I'll hit you with this. But anyway, Kat gives her this very indirect answer and says, "You know what, there's just something about you I just don't like. I just can't stand fake people." Or some BS, you know, deflecting it back on her, saying that you are a problem. So later she sees Josh dancing with Kat. Of course, she got a little insecure. You know, what woman doesn't? And guys do this too. Like, okay, you've been dancing with her for too long. And the next scene, it cuts to Josh making love to her. And I can imagine that the fact that he knows that she's not real, the disrespect of like, okay, you know what? I know you're not a real woman, so why should I give a damn about your fucking opinion if the sex is terrible? Because guys do this with real women anyway. Can you imagine a sex doll or a sex bot going through this with actual feelings of intelligence? Yikes. So we fast forward to another scene where in the next day, she's like, hey, I'm glad you brought me out here. I feel comfortable. I'm happy here. And Josh is all dismissive, brushing his teeth. Sure, whatever. Hey, why don't you go down to the pool? I'm feeling kind of ick right now from last night, probably a hangover, and just get some sun or something. Cool. So she does this, and then we enter Sergei's ass. This scene was the definition of cringe. Sergei not only forces himself on her in this awkward scene where it started off with just a gentle, hey, why don't you put lotion on my back of the lotion, no? And you could see that Iris's terror and fear, like, please stop. Please don't do this. And the calm manner, even though she has every right to be outraged, and this scene was powerful to me. She's like, please stop. Please don't do this. As she's leaning, lowering her body, posturing, she's still calm. She's upset, but she's still calm, which is ridiculous amount of restraint. Which enters the next scene where all the rest of the gang was in the house. Iris comes up. She's drenched in damn blood. And Josh was like, what the hell, dude? Walk me through it. What the hell happened? Because at this point, Kat went to go throw up or something. No, went to go check on what's left of Sergei. And we go to the flashback where she put the knife in his throat and et cetera, et cetera. So this scene was interesting due to the fact that not only did Kat had to do not Kat, but Iris is like, I'm sorry, it wasn't my fault. He left me no choice.
And then you what, Iris? Then you what? He was trying to kill me, and the only thing I could think about was that if he did kill me, I'd never get to see you again. And that hurts so much more than the pain of being choked. I wouldn't let that happen. I couldn't let him take me away from you. I love you so much.
Iris, go to sleep.
But one-track mind, not like an obsessive crazy person, but programming. If you think about it, a lot of women are like this anyway when they're very, very codependent on their abusive significant other, which is played by Jack here, aka Josh. I didn't want you to be upset with me. I tried to tell him to get off me. Baby, I swear, I didn't lead him on or anything. He's like, shh, no, I believe you. And Jack Quaid, let's talk about Jack for a minute. Again, his range is remarkable. He not only, I love him as an actor, but in this film, I absolutely loathe him. So, okay, you know what? It's okay, Iris, in his cold, calculated manner, you couldn't lie to me even if you wanted to. What do you mean? It's not programmed in you. And mind you, I skipped the scene. He's like, Iris, shut down. Before this even happened, the scene I'm about to talk about. So they shut her down, they talk about it, and it's eerie as hell when they shut down. They have the white pupils like Storm from the X-Men, but not in a cool X-Men powered kind of way. It was kind of really creepy. So, anywho, she wakes up. Iris, wake up. She's tied up to a chair. The poor thing is like, oh my God, why am I tied up? What did I do wrong? I just defended myself. And it's just like, this film brings out so many necessary hidden gems that's necessary for the modern situation of mankind. Like, hey, listen, walk me through what happened. He still spins this as his fault, which later down the road, by the way, eventually Iris breaks free, she gets out, and Josh confesses that, hey, do you have any idea how hard it was for me to plant that knife? I had to practice that shit in her pocket. Raised her aggression level up in the little tablet that he has, that now Iris has after she broke out of the fucking chair. Excuse my French. And she's upset because, what do you mean I'm just some thing? Okay, I'll prove it. Iris, do you speak Japanese? You know perfectly well I don't speak Japanese. Go to the next thing, and she starts speaking off the tongue. Iris, what's the temperature? And I should have known because there's a few references in the film. He always asks her what the temperature is going to be just for kicks. And in her mind, it was a playful banter, even to this guy. I knew that she was not a real person from the previews, and obviously, but even to this guy. But yet, at the same time, she couldn't help, but she was compelled to tell him because she's a responding automaton. Before we go to the scene where she was running in the forest, away from everybody trying to murk her or deprogram her, she said this one thing that almost broke my heart. Okay, look, just untie me. I admit I did something wrong. I don't care. As long as I care for you, please don't do this to me. No, I'm sorry, Beep Boop. And I hate the fact that he calls her that because I think that's an obligatory term to machines out there, that she's just this machine. And it raises the question, when the time comes when mankind has, let's say, Ghost in the Shell. By the way, I did a review on that. Check it on my YouTube channel. I'll leave the link above. When we start having these machines that can think for themselves, that's codependent, working for us, should we not treat them as human? Should we not make a any kind of constitution? Whatever, to accommodate these beings just because they are made by man? Do we have to treat them as second-class beings? You know, another question for you guys for later. Anyway, I'm drifting off. Iris runs for her literal life, and she looks at the app, finds out, you know, and I think that honestly, Josh here overplays his hand and tells her how to change her eye color, which was pretty badass. Change her voice tone, she had fun with. The intelligence factor was insulting. She was barely at a damn 40. She's like, yeah, let's go ahead and fix this. So meanwhile, while she's playing with the settings, we go into flashback on what Iris was really about, who she was. It was just so, to me, like, not disheartening, but so in shock what we have, back to my opening statement, as a society, have debased ourselves to. Mail order brides. We're already doing it with real people. So imagine a sex bot. I'm calling it what it is, guys. A companion. And she comes in with all her clothes. She comes in with this huge door-sized dimension box. And her eyes are like this. I'm going to try to do it. If you want to actually start your programming sync, I can't do the eye hole roll thing. Please feel free to, please put your face within 3 feet of me. And the first thing he does, he has sex with it. If this was 20 years ago when I was in my peak of my perversion, okay, cool. Any guy would want that. But this is just sad. But this film was necessary as to context of what's to come in the near future of our society, if we don't make our changes now. Getting back, so she fights for her life. She makes a break for it. You know, we found out the real issue of why Josh brought her out there in the first place is because of the factor that there's $12 million involved, thanks to Kat. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, Kat tells Josh, like, hey, I know she was supposed to kill him, but dude, that was just brutal. There's blood everywhere. And of course, Eli and Patrick, having no idea, like, dude, what the hell are we? If you guys had a plan here, if you're going to kill, why do you need an audience? And Josh, reveals, which is pretty clever, we need an audience to collaborate our story, which makes sense strategically. Like, okay, look, we can split it 4 ways. Josh was like, no, we can split the 12 million in 3 ways. Patrick doesn't count. He's like, bro, Patrick shut down. And I didn't know Patrick was a bot. And Eli was like, are you fucking serious? Are you bot shaming me? He's like, dude, I'm just saying he's not a real person. We could split it in 3 ways. And reactivates him. So we find out that Patrick's in the mix as one of these things. And later down the road, Patrick knew the whole time that he was while they were hunting, fast forward. And their relationship was a little more dynamic. He accepted it. And I think Eli was far more humane than Josh ever was to Iris. I know that now. But the money, of course, that's a lot of damn money, split into 3 ways, excuse me. And now Iris finally gets into a car. This was clever. And not only Josh was trying to break into the car to stop Iris, but she changed her voice tone to activate his car, which is a smart, clever way, by the way. Elon Musk, if you're watching, not your biggest fan, but for Tesla, cool feature, voice command. We run into a cop. The cop stops her. And this scene was unnecessary because now Josh is playing damage control because, I'm getting ahead of myself, because Eli dies from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, struggling with Iris in the forest, whatever. And now he reprograms Patrick to become this sexual terminator. bashes the cop's head. And it was a clever scene before this happened. So Iris starts talking, and I believe it was German, because she can't lie. Because the offer was like, oh, you came over from Sergei's place. How are you liking it so far? Guten Tag, you know what I'm saying? So she knew he would understand it, but she was trying to avoid the questions in the language he couldn't understand. Clever move, but to no avail. I bring up the cop because, well, eventually Patrick bashes his skull in. Literally with the butt of his own damn gun. And Iris is captured again. Now, the coup de grace. So, Patrick brings Iris back in the cop car and the cop's corpse. Kat's like, dude, I'm out. You can have this. Josh needed to work on his commands in a nutshell. He was like, okay, Patrick, stop her. He's like, dude, every woman that tries to leave, every woman, when things get tough, they leave me. He's like a man-child. No accountability for his actions whatsoever. Huge narcissist, by the way. And in a sense, he doesn't see his flaws, but it's not our fault he doesn't, if that makes sense. And Patrick stabs her in the back and she dies. So all these bodies are starting to stack up in this madness.
Jesus fucking Christ. Patrick? What'd you just do? You told me to stop her. I stopped her.
Perfect.
Kat.
No, Josh.
So there's this really awkward candlelight dinner where, remember, Iris now has this Ivy League intelligence of serious college grad. And he's like, you know, Iris, and I'll let the scene describe it.
You're the cause of all of this.
No, Josh. Your greed caused this. That's what this whole trip was about, right? You used me to kill Sergei so you could steal his money.
I'm sorry, how did you know that?
I overheard Eli and Patrick talking in the woods, so don't tell me that this is all me. This is
No.
you.
No! You don't get to do that! You don't get to sit there and judge me.
In a nutshell, he was like, you know, Iris, I really, really can forgive you for what you've done to me and all this stuff. But the fact that you're just like every other woman and you're not even real, that's what ticks me off. And she was like, what? You mean every other woman who's not satisfied with your below average penis? Your insecurity issues, your narcissism, you're frightened of life? You know, she just starts listing off his problems. And she's like, okay, you know what? Go to sleep mode. Or no, rather, it wasn't just sleep mode. It was the factor that she's like, you know what? And he was like, you know what? I don't need this shit. And he's like, Iris, you can't ignore my commands. Put your hand over the table with the candlelight. And there was at this table that, of course, you know, Patrick was making food and everything, taking advantage of poor Patrick, by the way, reprogramming him, though, that Patrick would love him in substitute what happened just now to Eli. Burning the hand was gruesome because I know she felt all the pain and all this stuff. And what Josh always says was bone chilling to me. See? You think you're feeling pain? No, you don't. You're programmed to. You're not real. Just, you know what I'm saying? That's his number one go-to attack towards her. But it doesn't, despite the fact what he's missing, she's not wrong about him. What happens next is that Iris was forced to blow her own brains out. And the tech guys come by and picks up the shell of the body, and he dresses up. He dresses up Patrick into this pretty boy ass cop. He's like, okay, so explain to me what happened. She went haywire, spinning some tall tale story, and he was like, okay. And the maintenance guy kept looking at the cop like, you know, I know you from somewhere. And Josh was like, right, like a celebrity, trying to deflect all kinds of things in his head to keep him distracted. Clever ploy. So he's like, okay, well, we're going ahead and have this thing salvaged, have our legal team take a look at the footage and camera. And Josh was like, isn't the camera damaged? She shot her head. Oh, no, the CPU is in the gut here. Oh, that changes things. Another set of bodies added to the mix. those two guys died, you know, and not before Iris had one of the guys who actually escaped Patrick's grasp, because Patrick was on a killing spree, you know, no witnesses, to program Iris to do one final thing: complete disconnect from any control, any Wi-Fi whatsoever. Granted, her antenna was damaged because it's in the head structure up here, but still, she was disconnected. She was free. A struggle was had. Josh got what he deserved with the cork thing into the skull and the temple. That was eerie as hell. And Iris gets her life back. So, and there you have it. We have the entire review of Companion, under 25 minutes or less. Hope you guys enjoyed the film. Hope you guys enjoyed my take on the film. Again, hit that share, comment, subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, check out the playlists of CJack Productions and all of these shows. All right, until next time, talk to you later.